Um,
Right.
record.
Recording.
Oh, you're recording?
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, shoot. Sorry. So we are Stephanie and Dani, and we did a grammar test for gender agreements in Spanish. So the purpose of our test, it's used as a diagnostic test. It's used to test a level of Spanish speakers and their abilities to identify the grammatical structure of gender agreements. This test can help teachers understand how their students are doing comparatively. The teacher could easily see if their student understands the concept or not. This test is also designed to test a very specific piece of the Spanish language. And so it could also potentially be used as an achievement test. And it could be used as a marker to see if they could go on to the next level. But it cannot be used as a placement test alone. It would have to be a much bigger grammar test for it to be used for that purpose, because our test is pretty short. The test objectives are going to be to diagnose the understanding of a specific Spanish language grammar feature, which is gendered nouns and articles. And so the test takers will demonstrate their understanding of gendered nouns and articles through taking this test. So our test design is pretty simple. We designed it on Google Sheets, and we just have a correct and incorrect format. So we only give the student two options for the test. And then, so it's just a multiple choice, but it's two questions. And so the sentence is provided. And so the sentence will either be grammatically correct or ingrammatically correct. And then the test taker just has to choose one or the other. And so in this example, the sentence provided reads, La jardín en la universidad es muy bonito. However, the noun jardín, which is garden, in Spanish, it is masculine. So it needs a masculine article, but here it has la as the article, which is a feminine article. And so this sentence would be incorrect because it should read El jardín en la universidad es muy bonito instead of what is provided.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. So I'm going to go on and I'm going to talk about our pilot test summary here. So unfortunately, we were only able to get a small amount of people to take our test exam. We had 7 people try out our test, and of the 7, 2 of them were native speakers, and then 5 of them, to our knowledge, were just regular or Spanish language learners. And so the average score of our test, or the mean, was going to be 12. The median was 12. Our standard deviation was 9. And our range was 3. It was hard to differentiate between some of the factors in our test due to the small number of people who took it. Our limited responses gave us a really small range, meaning that the answers were much more similar than if they were not. And since we had a lower number of participants, we were not able to calculate the reliability or dependability because in this standard, it would be almost meaningless. And then here is some photos of our analysis. We ran this through a Google Sheets forum. So this is going to be our item facility. I have upper, so this is our upper 30% and our lower 30%. As you can see here, like I mentioned in the last slide, our range was really small. It was only a range of 3. So the items didn't do such a great job at discriminating between those who did know the answers and those that did not know the answers because there wasn't a huge discrepancy in answers. Maybe if we had more people, it would have been easier and we could see really who didn't know the answers and who didn't, and who did. And now I'm going to move on over to our revisions and what we would do next if we were to pilot this once more. We we both decided that maybe the response types should vary. If another test were to be piloted, we would like to have some more diversity in the types of answers to the questions. We think this would better test the knowledge of the responders. Moving on to that, I think maybe a variety in the types of questions that we give the test takers could definitely help better display their knowledge and understanding of the concept of gendered nouns and articles. I think that using more than just incorrect or correct would have maybe made the test a little bit easier to differentiate between in our item facility and discrimination. For example, we think that with this, it's much easier to guess on our test. Students have a much higher likelihood of being able to guess the correct answers, making that it harder to differentiate between what students know and what they don't know. Possibly we would use a fill in the blank answer in the future. So instead of having incorrect or correct as the answers, maybe putting el or la or los, a couple of the other gendered nouns and articles, and have them pick it and replace it in a multiple choice or even a short answer response. And lastly, of course, we would have rather had some more participants in our study. I think it would have been more interesting to see and gather the data had we had more participants. But overall, we are happy with the outcome that we did get. All right, and that's all.
Thank you.